we know this. You can walk outside without a mask, and then if you're vaccinated, you can walk out anywhere. And inside, you really are vaccinated. You can't transfer the virus. If you're vaccinated, you can go anywhere. Even Yankee and Met games are starting to say, if you're vaccinated, you can sit next to each other. I'm sure it's going to be the same thing with the NBA and playoffs. They need their ticket revenue. There's no reason to keep them out. So the CDC, who's all over the place, and we know now, pressure from politicians and pressure from unions. Dr. Rochelle Walensky put out some ridiculous guidelines for camp goers that mean so much to kids in their development who've been forced to sacrifice so much because they're doing their lives are on, at least a portion of it's on Zoom. Here's what Dr. Rochelle Walensky's saying. Mask everywhere except for eating. You even have to wear it sleeping. And when you're participating in outdoor sports in 100-degree weather, wear the mask. Cut 10.
What we're really trying to avoid in this camp guidance is what we saw in outbreaks and camps last summer. So if you have 5, 10-year-olds who are on a soccer field, all in front of the same soccer ball, we're trying to make sure that there are not a lot of heavy breathing around a singular soccer ball with 5 kids around it at the same time. But for spread out activities, our outdoor mask guidance for unvaccinated people, small groups, allows for those kids to be unvaccinated. And what we really are trying to do is ensure that all of these kids can have a really good camp experience and keep the camps open without any outbreaks.
Don't worry about the outbreaks. The kids aren't going to be affected. You want to do testing, you go do texting. They're going to be fine. It's infinitesimal chance of a kid being hospitalized. And of course, there's always a chance of getting something going wrong in camp. Kids fall off cliffs. They get in fights. There's like a ridiculous number of kids drown. I don't want any of that to happen, but it happens. And there's a greater chance of that happening. And parents are still dropping off their kids every single year from the beginning of time. But the restrictions are ridiculous. Cut 11.
For the most part, if you're vaccinated, we have recommended that you can do almost anything. We're asking that people who are vaccinated remain in masks when they're indoors.
If I'm working with everyone in my office is also vaccinated, why?
In our private settings guidance, we say if you know for certain that everyone around you has been vaccinated, they're not at risk they have no high-risk people in their households, then we say in those settings that you could take off your mask.
It's nuts because we were already told by her there's almost no chance of carrying the virus once you're vaccinated and giving it to some other people. She tells everyone, public health officials recommend that campers and people be split into cohorts. Try to stay with people you know. Listen to what they tell these kids. Split into cohorts. Okay, cohort. So I have one friend. And you can maintain 3 feet from that friend. Between other children, not non-cohorts, 6 feet. Ridiculous. We already found that dates back to 1918, not even debated on science. We've been through this already. Campers are to remain 6 feet apart, require masks to be worn at all times, with the exception of eating and swimming. The CDC expects campers to wear masks while playing sports outside and strongly discourages inside or outside contact sports. You know everybody's playing football, right? Why can't they do it in camp? Do you know they just finished spring football up and down the Northeast? Do you know down south they never even delayed it for the most part? They just played football. Now you're telling camps in 2021, kids in 2021, parents in 2021, don't let your kid do all those things. It's insane. And it's part of the reason why in Utah, at a parent, teacher, and kid meeting, a local school board meeting, where it was packed, they want to know if the governor said we can get rid of the mask mandate, why are you making our kids wear masks? Listen to how out of control this gets. And just know, I think everybody I know feels the same exact way as these Utah parents who let a state senator speak, but didn't let the parents and kids speak. Cut 13.
You let a senator come up here and speak in the name of my children who you guys are abusing? Are you serious?
You will listen to us.
No, we've had our citizen participation.
No more masks.
All right.
No more masks. No more masks. No more masks. No more masks.
Quinter, I move that we adjourn this meeting.
I'll second.
We have a motion to adjourn. And a second. All in favor, say aye.
Since they're going to leave, we're going to take control.
People, I mean, don't they really represent some of the people that you know and how you feel in Utah, which, by the way, they say is accepting more people into their state than maybe anyone else outside Florida? Utah. For the most part, Utah is a very calm place. But when you have state officials ruining your kids' lives, that gets a little off the hook. So I want to let you hear from Dr. Peter McCullough. He's watching what's going on in this country. He was on with Laura Ingraham last night. And he says, why is everyone so focused on masks and vaccines? It's off-putting. Cut 16.
Now, the overall approach to the pandemic, I think, has been way too much focused on masks and vaccines. Neither one of those helped sick patients with COVID-19. That's playing defense. And in my view, the big change was when we had the Senate hearings in November, we started playing offense.
Yeah. And we are on offense, and vaccines are up there. 44% have gotten a single shot. 33% are fully vaccinated. We know that hospitalizations are down 11%. Deaths are down 3%. Overall cases are down 27%. So listen to Mark Gorelick. He said this from Columbia University. He told New York Magazine about all these restrictions. I am supportive of effective measures to restrain the spread of the illness. However, the CDC's recommendations cross the line into excess and are frankly senseless. Children cannot be running around outside in 90-degree weather wearing a mask, period. Quote, masking kids at camp outdoors is simply virtue signaling. Requiring kids to continuously wear masks at camps, even while outside playing in the heat, when it provides little additional protection, is unfair and cruel to children, a doctor in the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease said, who will remain nameless. Even Dr. Fauci said they're a little extreme. Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.